So good morning. Welcome to Metro Institute of Technology. My name is Andy Almendinger. I'm the principal here at MIT. This is my second year at MIT. I've been with Metro this is my sixth year now with Metro. So we're very excited to have a whole new class of students joining us. We have 5 new teachers on board this year. We're about, I want to say around 180 students total this fall, 9th and 10th grade. So we're very excited to continue this growth, and thank you all for joining us on that journey. So today we're going to talk about a lot of logistics type stuff with the school. We'll talk a little bit about mastery, and then just some ways that you guys can help stay involved with your students' education and help them be successful here at MIT. So logistical information, contact information. Phone number rings right at Mrs. DeWitt's desk. Email goes right to her as well. So that is the fastest way, best way, and preferred way for you to contact us for absences is right to Mrs. DeWitt, so that's 797-4797, or you can do dewitt.3@themetroschool.org. Attendance is huge here at MIT. We have block scheduling, so that means students take 4 90-minute classes in a semester, and that's a year's worth of content in one semester. So about half the time you would get it anywhere else. So missing 1 day of school with us is like missing 2 or 3 at any other school. So it's really important to stay here and be here on time. If you need to contact any other staff members, we all have our last name at themetroschool.org is our email addresses. Those will be listed on your syllabi that you get from your teachers. And we're very, very quick at replying to emails. We will reply to phone calls. It just takes a little bit longer because we don't have access to the phone all the time. So their computers are open all day as they're teaching. It's a lot easier for them to send a quick response to an email than it is to get to the phone and give you a call back. So if you've got questions, please don't hold on to them. Send them to us, but it's probably going to be a faster response if you send us an email. Also, we try to list as much as we can on our school website as well. So themetroschool.org/schools/MIT, and there's news posts. I'll post my weekly updates there. There's our daily announcements, PowerPoint presentation that I do with the students. That's posted on our website. So anything you need should also be on our website as it comes out in our update as well. So school hours. Every day we open up the building at 7 a.m. And we close the building 4 p.m. most days. A little bit different from last year is on Mondays and Fridays we're going to try to ask people to leave as close to 3 as possible. Mondays definitely because of staff meetings. So on Mondays, all of our staff will go into a staff meeting at 3 o'clock. We won't have anybody to monitor students anymore. So whether that means they're going to the library down the street, whether they're going home with a friend, whether you can pick them up, whether they're riding the bus home, whatever, we really need everyone student-wise out of the building as close to 3 o'clock as possible on Mondays. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 o'clock for office hours, clubs, other things that we'll do after school. During the day, 4 classes like we talked about. The only difference is on Tuesday and Thursday when we do advisory. So we'll take 40 minutes for advisory every Tuesday and Thursday. That means we just shorten each of our other classes by 10 minutes. So instead of 90 minutes, classes are now 80 minutes. We started a hot lunch and breakfast program last year. So we serve breakfast and lunch to every student that wants it. This first week coming up, we've ordered enough to let everyone kind of try it out and see what they think. But typically we will ask for orders for breakfast and lunch. So if your student wants to order breakfast and lunch, we attach an online order form to our weekly parent updates. You just fill out that order form, tell us what days you want to order, whether you want breakfast and lunch, just lunch, and then we place those orders and your student's able to come pick up that food on those days that they order. And we do ask that you order so that way we have enough for everybody because we do order pretty close to what is ordered from you guys as families. So we want to make sure that everybody has some. So if you want it, please just go online and fill out that order form. Prices are pretty reasonable. Breakfast and lunch is only $4.75 a day for both meals. If you just want lunch only, it's only $3 for full pay students. If you do qualify for free reduced lunch, we do adjust prices as well. So you can see our reduced prices up here, 70 cents for breakfast and lunch or 40 cents for lunch only. and then obviously free would be free. If you're interested in looking at a sample menu, you can follow this link here in the PowerPoint presentation. I'll link that to the website as well, so that way you can click right to it. Or I believe under current students, there's a tab that says lunch. You just select that, and there's some sample menus listed there, so you guys can see kind of what we had last year to offer. Attendance and tardiness. So we already talked about being in school as often as possible and on time as possible. But it's important to note that we try to get everything, we would like to have everything reported by 8:30, so that way we can make sure we know where students are at. If they are gone, we can get them information as soon as possible to try to help them stay up to date and current in their classes where they need to be. And we do ask for doctor's notes anytime a student has a medical appointment, doctor appointment, dentist appointment, or if they're going to be, or if they are sick for 3 or more days in a row. And that's just required documentation we have to provide to the state. Tardiness is 5 minutes after class starts. So the school day starts at 8 o'clock when students go into their first class. So if a student arrives after 8:05 a.m., they are considered tardy. All right. We're going to use that 5-minute time frame for all of our other classes as well, because we do keep period class attendance. So that way we know where students are at and where they are going. And if we need to, hopefully it doesn't get to this, but we can assign consequences as necessary for students who have attendance become a little bit of an issue. So we will be in touch with parents consistently about attendance if there's an unexcused absence, to make sure that we follow up and find out what that reason is. If students start to become tardy too often, then we'll start to try to have them make up time with that teacher, whether that's with a lunch detention, whether that's with an after-school mandatory office hours session, something like that. But the whole point of students being reminded or assigned attendance consequences is that they need to make up that time for class, because it's important that they're in there to get their work done. Medication. So if your student has a physician prescribed medication, please just make sure you fill out that proper paperwork and let us know if there's anything that we need to do with it, if we need to store it and keep it available to the student, if the student's going to carry it with them, whatever is required by the doctor. The big one here is that we do not provide any over-the-counter medications. So we don't give out Tylenol or Advil or ibuprofen for headaches or anything like that. So if students need that for any reason, they are allowed to bring it themselves, but they can only have a day's supply, and it has to be in the original prescribed container. Now, the big one that you guys will continue to learn more about as the year progresses is mastery. So we're a mastery school. That means that our students have to demonstrate mastery in each of their courses, on each of their course standards, in order to be eligible to move on to the next class. So the picture we like to use to kind of describe this is that this is your typical school right here, where they have time as a set deadline. You're going to take a class for 1 year. You're going to take a class for a semester. What's going to change student to student is the grade that they get, A, B, C, D, or F. Well, at Metro, we kind of flipped that grading scale on its head and said, everybody has to get an A. So in order for everybody to get an A, we have to make adjustments in the amount of time that it might take a student to get there. So with that, students might take a class, get an A at the end of one semester. Fantastic, you're moving on. If not, no big deal. You might need an independent study, so you might just need to work on a couple assignments with the teacher. Now you have mastery, now you can move on. You might need a little more time than that, okay? So now you're going to take a class fall semester in J-term. So now you've been in a class 20 weeks and you have an A, which is still shorter than most schools. Even if you take the whole year, okay, you've earned 1 credit just like you would have anywhere else, but now it's at an A level rather than a C level. So we really believe in this system, and it's been very successful to this point, and we really like the way it works. So more specifically in each class, you guys will learn about in September at our open house or curriculum night when you can talk to the teachers. But these are some general guidelines that we use for mastery. So there's 2 types of assignments that you're going to see a lot, and they're mastery assignments and foundational assignments. Mastery assignments are where a student will demonstrate what they know, so show us that you have a mastery understanding of this content. A foundational assignment is a practice assignment. So that could be homework, it could be classwork, it could be any version of many things, but it's practice for the student to build those skills in order to show mastery on their mastery assignments. Mastery assignments could include tests, quizzes, projects, presentations, all kinds of different things. Once again, have to demonstrate 90% on each unit, and in order to demonstrate 90% on each unit, you have to demonstrate 90% on each learning target. So on each of the teacher's web pages, we'll talk about that in a minute, they will have a course calendar on there. They'll also have units broken down by learning targets. So you as parents and the students will be able to see what are the standards that I'm going to be required to know for this class. So they'll be able to check their progress against those learning targets all the time, because their assignments will have kind of those notations on it that this aligns to this standard, this unit. So that way they know where things kind of match up. When students don't get mastery, they're going to have to partake in something called remediation. Remediation is kind of their second opportunity or second chance to show us that they know what they didn't demonstrate the first time. So some of the tasks that we would ask students to complete for remediation, for them to show us that they're now ready to retake a mastery assignment, are completing all assignments, all original assignments that were assigned for that learning target. So say there was a homework assignment on learning target 4 that Johnny didn't do. Well, Johnny's going to go back and do that learning target assignment, so that way he's practicing what he didn't do the first time. He's going to complete the remediation assignment that's assigned by the teacher. So again, this is extra practice. More practice with that learning target they need to demonstrate mastery on. Attend at least one office hour session. So go ask questions of the teacher. Make sure they really know what they need to know before they do their retake. And then last but not least, if it's a test or quiz or something that they have to do with us here in the building, they need to schedule a time with the teacher that they can do that, whether that's before school, after school, at lunch. Some things, that like a project, they might be able to take home and do on their own. Others, they're going to have to schedule time here to do. So students cannot demonstrate mastery simply through test corrections. So they're going to have to do something else to show us that they know what they're talking about. We really hold them to a high standard. And that's because we know that if we hold them to a high standard, everybody's going to step up and meet that high standard. Okay? We might have to give them more time, we might have to give them more support, but that's okay. That's what we're here to do. So technology. This is what we use to help with mastery and help our students be successful. But that's what technology is for at MIT. It's a learning tool. So it's here to help you guys be successful in your classes. It's not here so you guys can check Facebook and play games all the time. That's great. We want you to do that. We want you to have fun, but we want you to take care of your business first. All right? So there's an acceptable use policy that kind of says these are the things that we want you to do with your technology. And by taking your laptop and turning in that technology form, you're kind of saying, hey, we're going to abide by this and we're going to do what you're asking us to. All right? So we'll monitor technology use here pretty closely at school, but parents, we ask for your support and your help in monitoring that use at home. Now, on our network at school, we have certain things in place that will help to curb those activities, so that way students are using it as a resource, but your Wi-Fi networks at home probably don't have those same restrictions. So that's why we kind of ask you to help us monitor that and just make sure that they're using their technology for good and not for evil. Power School. So this is your best friend as a parent. Best friend. Check this religiously. Our teachers update it all the time. Some teachers even update it daily. They will do it at least once a week, though, for sure. So everything from attendance to grades to assignments are listed in Power School. Whether the assignments are graded or not, they will also be listed in Power School. So some of those foundational assignments might not be for points, they might just be for practice. Teachers will still list them in Power School so you can see if your student is completing their assignments. If you have a question about anything you see in Power School, you want to email the classroom teacher first. Email them as soon as you see it, whatever you got, and they'll get back to you pretty quick. All right? The sooner you email them, the quicker we can all be on the same page, the faster whatever problem there was will be corrected. I will begin to send out parent logins for PowerSchool, hopefully next week. And there are ways for you to create your own account as parents with the information I send out. If you're unable to do so, just give me a call, send me an email. I can probably talk you through it over the phone. And if you're still not signed up by Tuesday, September 6th, which I think is the second week of school, during our curriculum night here, I'll set up a couple computers here and I'll make sure that whoever's here is signed up before they leave, because I want everyone to have access to PowerSchool. This is most important as a parent. Next is Schoology. So last year we used Blue Quill. Blue Quill was where we kept all of our course documents, syllabi, learning targets, units, assignments, class notes, all that stuff. We have decided to make a little bit of a switch this year, and we're going to go with Schoology. And our teachers, some of our teachers have used this before. This is new to some of them. But everything that you need to complete the assignments in the class are going to be kept on Schoology. So any extra resources that a student might need, lecture videos, class notes, links to outside resources will be kept on Schoology. So if you go to PowerSchool and you see that Johnny didn't complete one of his assignments, find the name of that assignment. You should be able to go to Schoology and find that assignment. That way you can make sure he's getting it done. Once again, if you have questions about anything you find on Schoology, email that classroom teacher first. They'll be able to get you what you need, and if not, they'll get in touch with me and we'll figure out what we need to do and get back to you quickly. Okay? But PowerSchool and Schoology are going to be your two best friends beside your student. So Student Parent Handbook. There's currently a handbook online that kind of outlines dress code, discipline, other things like that. I'm in the process of working on kind of a parent handbook. I've been calling it the MIT Parent Guide to Success, where I've kind of added some information, taken it from this presentation, taken it from our staff handbook, student handbook, tried to put it all together in a document that you guys can use as well that will hopefully answer a lot of questions that you might have also. So I'm in the process of finishing that up, and hopefully that will be linked to one of our future updates here soon, as well as our website, and then we'll also get some hard copies out here for students to grab and bring home for you if you want. So dress code. Guys, it's pretty simple. Your shirt should have a collar on it, or it should be a sweater, not a sweatshirt. Hoodies are not okay. Sweatshirts without a hood are not okay. Giant logos are not really what we're looking for either. Some of the smaller logos, like on the corner of your chest, we can go with those, that's okay. But nothing huge. Dress slacks or khakis, so no jeans, no sweatpants, no shorts. I know it's still really warm outside, and it would be nice to wear shorts. I would love to wear shorts too, but it's just not part of our dress code, so no shorts. Belt, if your pants have a belt loop, please wear a belt. It just looks nicer. So just do it. It's pretty easy. And then solid color shoes. So you don't have to wear dress shoes, but they do need to be a solid color. So like the canvas style boat shoes that have the rubber sole, those are okay. The single color like Van, like skate shoes are okay. And then obviously dress shoes are fine as well. But no like bright, loud colored tennis shoes. Those are gonna give you away right away. So with dress code too, parents, we are going to start monitoring it next week. If we see students out of dress code, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send them to the telephone and have them give you a call and say, hey mom, I decided to wear a shirt that was not in dress code today. I need you to bring me another one, or else I'm going to have to work in the office all day. So hopefully you can help us out with that. If not, students will spend their time in the office, they'll work on their assignments by themselves, and hopefully learn that they want to have fun with their friends and be in class. All they have to do is follow the dress code so they can be in class. So ladies, you guys are going to have a lot more freedom than the guys. And guys, that's just the way it is. Okay? So you'll be okay. The ladies have a lot more to choose from when it comes to clothes. So it'll be okay. So girls, you don't have to have a collar on your shirt. You can. It doesn't have to be there. But again, no sweatshirts, no hoodies, no t-shirts, nothing like that. Pants, no jeans, no shorts, same thing. The big one is the skirts or the dresses. They can't be any more than 3 inches above your knee. So need to be within that length. And then solid color shoes again as well. No sandals. So if you're going to wear sandals, they have to have a strap that goes around the back of your heel so that way they're not the flip-flop style. Any questions on dress code before I move on?
I do.
Yes.
I spoke with Beth, and she said that there was a certain style. It was like an all red Adidas high top, but it was solid from top to bottom red. And those are tennis shoes. But on your thing here it says no tennis shoes, and she did say that those were okay. And they were bright red.
So I'd have to look at them. It just depends. If you have questions about dress code, the best thing to do is to bring it in one day and have one of us look at it. That way we can say, yeah, that's great, or no, that's not dress code, please don't wear it, and then we won't have any problems.
Okay.
Yes? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, the little logos over here, over the chest are fine. I just don't want anything like huge, like over their entire like chest and front, stomach area. So communication with teachers, again, email is the best method. They get back to you the fastest. Some other opportunities, though, for you guys to come in as parents, see the school, see what's going on, is our curriculum night, which I believe is Tuesday, September 6th in the evening. We'll have kind of a larger group presentation here again to make sure everybody signed up for Power School and to make sure you guys understand the overall workings of Schoology. And then after that, we'll send you to classrooms to hear from each of the classroom teachers about their class and how that's going to run this school year. And then each semester, we will do student-led conferences once. So instead of parent-teacher conferences or one-on-one conferences with teachers, we like to do student-led conferences because we want our students to be their own advocates and the owners of their own learning. So each student is going to have a reflection sheet that they will fill out for each of their classes. It'll talk about mastery assignments, things that they've done well on, things that they've struggled with, supports they might need from the teacher, supports they might need from you as the parent, metro habits they're doing well with, metro habits that they're struggling with, and other information just in general about how they're doing in that class. So you'll come in as a parent, sit down with your student, start talking through that reflection. The teacher will be in the classroom circulating, so they'll stop and say hi, answer any general questions that you guys have. And if you would like to have kind of a more in-depth one-on-one conversation, we encourage you to do that, but we're going to encourage you to schedule an appointment with a teacher specifically outside of that time so that way they can continue to work with everybody. We want to try to involve as many families as possible, and that's just really hard to do with one-on-one conferences. Virtual days, also a big important part of our schedule. So we do virtual days once a month leading up to January. In January, we're going to do them twice a week, and then we'll do them once a month again, kind of closing out the school year. And the reason we do them once a month is to try to get students kind of into the habit of what a virtual day is like before we get to J-term, when we use them very regularly. So on our virtual days, we have a little bit of adjusted schedule. So we don't start until 9, and you're finished by 1. So students, your class day is already shorter. And the good news is you get to do it from home, so you don't got to be in dress code. And you can even sit in your bed and do it and lay in bed all day if you want to. But that's up to your parents. So it's nice because you don't have to come to school, but it's good for us because guess what? We still get to help you learn something. So on virtual days, it's very important, though, that you remember that you have to do 3 things in order to be considered present for the class. If you don't do all of those 3 things, you are considered absent unexcused, like you were cutting class, and when you come back the next day, we'll have a nice consequence for you, so that way you can make up what you missed, because you didn't do it when you were supposed to, and we'll help you move on from there. So those 3 things are, you need to log in, so that when you log into the class, the teacher will see who's logged in, they're going to take attendance off of that. During class, they're going to have activities for you to participate in. You need to participate. I know that there are times where students are very tempted to log in, leave their computer open, and then go do what they want to do. Probably not a good idea. So don't do that. Last but not least, there's going to be an assignment that the teacher assigns for you to do that day. And they're going to say, this has to be turned in by, certain time. Your assignment needs to be done and turned in on time. As long as you do those three things, very good. You've done what you needed to do. You're good to go. Question?
Now those the sessions, are they live, or do you just?
They are live.
So they're live. You go through them and stuff.
Yep. The teacher will interact with the students. The teachers will have on the next page here. This is a little screenshot of what it could look like. We're going to use Adobe Connect this year. So the teacher's going to be, they might have their video up in the little corner there. They're going to be talking to you. They're going to be talking through class material. They're going to be sharing class material, whether that's sharing their screen, whether that's sharing a presentation, whatever. There's a chat box down here for students to be able to ask questions, chat, about course material with each other. Teachers can even break students into small groups virtually to work. So it's a lot of very cool functionality, and it works really, really well for us to be able to deliver content online and still make sure we're moving forward and doing what we need to do. So, important thing to note is we will also use virtual days in the event of inclement weather. So if it's too cold or if it's snowed and it's nasty outside and we're going to close the building, we will go to a virtual day instead. So that means there's no snow days anymore, which, sorry guys, no snow days, but that's okay. You don't have to make up any days at the end of the school year. Yes?
How would we know if the school is closed?
Yeah, so I'll get ready to talk about that. So if we're going to close, due to weather, close the building, we will email everybody, typically by 6 a.m., and then we will also post it with Channel 10 News. So on Channel 10, it will say Metro Schools, and it will say Virtual Day. It's not going to say MIT. It's not going to say Metro Institute of Technology. It'll say Metro Schools, because all three buildings will do the same thing, and we'll go to a virtual day. Now, you have to check Channel 10, because it's not going to be on ABC, it's not going to be on NBC, it's not going to be on Fox. So check your email and check Channel 10 in the event that you think school might be closed because it's nasty outside. And like I said, that's typically done by 6 a.m., so we try to give everybody plenty of time because we know that everybody has to travel. So extracurriculars after school, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, students can participate in office hours. Office hours are with a teacher. If you are in the building after school on Tuesday and Thursday between the hours of 2:30 and 4, you will go to office hours with a teacher somewhere. We're not going to hang out and just do what we want like we did last year. That was not very successful for quite a few of our students, so we want to make sure that we're giving them every opportunity to be as successful as possible. So whether that means you actually have to ask a question of a teacher or not, that's fine. You'll have a nice quiet place to work on homework and get things done so that way when you go home, you guys can do what you want to do. All right? Now, during office hours time with a teacher, a lot of times our teachers will have sign-up sheets for individual appointments. So if a student wants to work with a teacher one-on-one, they just need to make sure they sign up for their particular time with a teacher, go in, and they'll have their session one-on-one with a teacher. If there's nobody that signs up, the teacher will circulate the room, work with everybody that needs to, make sure that they're getting their questions answered and getting work accomplished. We will have a few tutors coming in the building to work with students after school during office hours. So that's a possibility. Parents, if you guys are interested or have expertise in an area and want to help out in that way too, please just let me know. And that's something that we can arrange also. But we want to make sure that students have that office hours time to get those questions answered. And that's Tuesday and Thursday. On Wednesday, we will do clubs. Clubs are going to change based on student interest. So last year, we had a robotics club, we had a sports club. Those are things that went pretty well for a while. The robotics club met the whole year, and they're continuing to meet and growing. But we will do a survey next week to kind of see what clubs our students are interested in, and then we'll align what our teachers are offering based on what students want to do. So as we see kind of a club attendance start to wane and disappear, we'll change it and offer something else so that way we can kind of get that attendance back up. But we want students to be able to have that time on Wednesdays to do something a little more in fellowship than academics necessarily. Yes?
Is it possible to do more than one club?
So it is possible. I can't promise you that they won't necessarily meet on the same day or time, so sometimes you might have to choose. But there's not like, if you say you're going to go to chess club the first day, that you have to go there the whole semester. You can change club if you want to. Good question. All right, so kind of nearing the end here. Helping your child succeed. First of all, make sure your student attends office hours. If they're here, just make sure they go. That way they have a place to ask questions and do their homework. A lot of teachers have sign-in sheets, so we'll try to keep track of who comes and goes, but it's not always 100% accurate because it's after school and kids are going to work with who they need to work with. So just make sure you're following up with your student to make sure that they're attending office hours. Help them with organizations and using a planner. So whether that's a written planner, whether that's an online calendar, whatever works for them. Make sure they have a place to know what their assignments are, what they need to do, and when it's due. Organization with the backpack. Binders, folders, notebooks, whatever helps them keep their papers organized in a place that they know where they're at. I've seen way too many backpacks where there's just stuff crammed at the bottom and they have no idea what's in there. That's not good for anybody. Give them a consistent study time and location. So maybe every night at 6 o'clock after dinner, they have an hour at the kitchen table, they have their laptop out, and they're going to work on homework for an hour to make sure that everything they didn't get done during office hours is finished up for the next day and they're ready to go. That way they know, this is where I'm going to work, this is how I'm going to work, and it kind of becomes a consistent routine. Insist your student completes remediation as soon as possible. So remediation as a guideline for teachers is 2 weeks after the mastery assignment. We want it to be done within that 2 weeks because class is going to continue to move on. So we're going to continue to do content. If we let students go much longer than that, they're going to fall behind on what they need to do. So check with your student, check with your teacher, make sure they're getting their remediation done on time, and then check PowerSchool and Schoology frequently. And make sure that if you have a question, just ask us. And last but not least, some ways to get involved. You can help sponsor a club if you're available to come in after school and work with us. Office hours. Career shadowing internships. So our students will all do a career shadowing opportunity in February. If you have a place, your place of employment would be willing to host some of our students to come in and see what you do or what some of your colleagues do for a living, that would be great. We would appreciate that. As our students get older, we're going to start to do internships, so that would be kind of a longer term thing, but if you're interested in that, let me know. We can get you more information. And then last but not least, probably the easiest thing you can do is just talk to your student about school. Ask them what they're doing, how it's going, how they're doing. And that's it. Questions? All right, well, thanks everybody for coming. I'll stick around for a few minutes if you want to talk individually, and then students, we'll see you all next week on Monday, bright and early. Have a good day.